the idea? Will that be coalition between the Israel and Palestinian?
Possibly. I would say it's up to the Palestinians. It's their land, it's their homeland. And
Yeah, but of course, he is the Palestinian, but they're not controlling the land completely with Israelis, right? Because even if they say Palestinian, they're living in their land, but they are not protected in their own land.
No, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So basically, we are giving a meat to a lion and saying not to eat. This is what one state solution.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I mean, fairness should be for everyone, and that goes for, I believe, every human soul. Every country has to have their freedom, have their integrity, have their right to live, and all the basic necessities for a human life should be preserved. Yeah. Thus, as a Muslim, I strongly believe that justice and fairness for everyone. You don't do injustice to me, I don't do injustice to you. Yep. That's fair. You kind to me, I kind towards you. Yep. Right. So you don't go and fight people, those who are not fighting. If someone comes to you and fight you and try to kill you, then you have to defend yourself. Yeah. And that's where, Islamic war and war ethics, and within that even Islamic war situation, we have exception as well. Do you know much about those? Or like our religion is, I believe, is the most practical religion on the planet, because it shows mercy, compassion, mercy, and where it demands or it instructs us whenever things needed to be done. For example, when someone is not fighting, you don't fight with them. But if someone fight with you, you should fight for self-defense and for stopping the oppression.
Yeah.
So that's the Islamic narrative basically, and
agreed.
Yeah, and Allah instruct us to do just. So I mean, all over the world, look at Uyghur.
Where's we?
Uyghur in China.
Oh yeah, Uyghur Chinese.
They suffered badly. I mean, they are still suffering.
Yeah. There's so many places around the world where everyone's suffering.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to focus on one thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So how do you see justice will be happen to these people? What would be your take?
I don't know if I know enough about it to know what it is, and I don't know if I could say it with any authority.
No, but just say from your mind. Don't worry.
I mean, in an ideal world, the people with the money and the power, i.e. the UK government, the US government, the EU, would come out and call for a ceasefire and then call for actual negotiations rather than the placation of negotiations that we've had for the last 30, 40 years.
But can we trust our politicians to do that? Can we trust?
No, but they're the ones who hold all the money and all the power.
Right. So this is the problem. We are relying on a source that can help us, which we believe deep down they will not help us.
Well, I believe deep down we can force them to help us.
We can force, but at a certain level. But then again, when Iraq war happened, millions protested millions, more than 3 times more than what we see today. What happened? Did we stop them? No. Did we stop them? Did we stop them to go Syria? No. So we couldn't do anything. Couldn't influence them basically.
In my opinion, that was because it wasn't consistent enough. It was similar to this. It was a big march and then it disappeared. Whereas what we're calling for is like disruption, like how we got women's rights and civil rights and human rights, gay rights. Everyone disrupted.
Don't get me wrong. I'm completely agree with the initiatives, right?
Yeah.
We can do our best. By the fact that you were standing and asking for the ceasefire, it shows you have some moral and ethical standard within you that force you come out of your home and stand for the Palestinian brothers and sisters. And so that shows a lot about you. But what I am seeing something else, which is, yes, we can do all of those things. And if we look at the historical narrative, we never stopped the attacker to oppress the people, right? For example, America, the Britain, and such countries, when they make a mind, and they always base their decision based on the minority, they never look at the majority's interest. If the majority's interest was there, then I would say Palestinian would be 99% support from the UK, right? But this one person actually dominated the position and the decision to kill the children, the babies, the infant, brutally beheading the children. And some of the images in different social media, you know, I can't even look at them.
No, it's grim.
It's so horrible and so bad, you know. I don't know. I don't have any language when I see those type of atrocities committed.
It's evil.
I mean, the solution I see is a two-state solution from practical point of view, because you cannot work with murderer, can you? Would you go and sit down with a murderer to run your country?
Well, we have one here.
No, the whole fact that you come here because you disengage with them and you wanted sided with the Palestinian to solidarity. So it's the same one, we would not be able to sit down with them in the parliament to make the well-being for the both states. So therefore, two-state solution is the practicality. And in Islam, we believe like every rule must be governed with the authorities, which can look at the interest of their own people, and based on the fairness and justice, you apply the judgment. And we believe our God's book is the book of guidance, basically. And then we believe that we don't have heavenly laws in the non-Muslim environment, but if we apply the heavenly laws, which is the Quran, the final book Allah revealed, then you will be able to make justice and peace and tranquility to the society. One of the verses, I'm not sure whether has anyone given you a copy of the Quran?
No, I've been offered it, but I haven't taken it. I
Okay.
don't know much about the Quran,
Yeah,
to be honest.
you know?
Not much, no.
Yeah, I just want to read one thing, yeah? I want you to read this one, and I want your take.
Okay, yeah.
One verse, yeah?
Yeah. Standing up to justice.
Yeah.
All believers stand firm for justice. Yeah.
So that would be a fundamental verse of justice.
Yep.
Even if it is go against myself, even if it go against my parents, even if it is go against my relatives, whoever it is close to me, even if it is go against them, I still have to stand firm for justice.
Justice is justice.
Yeah. Because look, ultimate justice will not be possible in this planet. Do you agree?
I don't know. Probably not. But I'd fight for it, regardless.
Now, when I say ultimate justice, let me break it down more. Like, imagine all the good things you are doing. Would you get rewarded for all the good things you do?
Would I get what for all the
Rewarded in this life?
Maybe, but that's not the goal.
Mhm,
The goal is to get the justice, regardless of reward or punishment.
Yeah. So our concept is slightly different. We believe that this life will never be justice for not a single soul. Therefore, God will resurrect back bodily and make accountable for all of us, because He sent us for a purpose in this world, and is to acknowledge God and follow God's commandment in this land.
Fair enough, yeah.
Otherwise, justice cannot be prevailed. Because not a single soul. Imagine someone who fed 50 million people and he died naturally, or someone killed him. What is the justice he or she received in this world? So therefore, like,
Well, it goes beyond the individual, doesn't it?
no, I don't think it's an individual action. I think the action of the totality of the life.
Fair enough, yeah.
So that's why Islam bring back, the following argument goes like that. Then the people ask question to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, how God will resurrect us. I don't believe that. I will die, I will disintegrate it, I will mix up with the soil, no one will find me. And it was a strange thing for them to, resurrection. And then God revealed the verses and said, how can you disbelieve this matter where you were non-existent in one point? Meaning I was not in the sign of existence in this universe. In one point I came into the universe. From non-existent to existence. So the same process will happen again, means you will die, you will be not in the scene of this universe. Then will the God not do the process again? Meaning can He not recreate you again? So Islam, Quran constantly asking people to reflect on the message that, okay, this life is a temporary. This life will not have justice. This night, I wouldn't say, let me add the word absolute justice. We do receive some justice in some form, right? But not absolute justice, like totality of the life. Because our unseen matter are only known by the God. Like imagine if you do some crime, has no one seen it. No one can, judge you. But the God is the one who is seeing you, He's all seeing, all hearing, all knowing, right? So all of the matter that involves around us, He is completely aware and completely known. Therefore, on the day of judgment, He will bring everything back and He will open the book. And the Quran mentioned, Allah said, "Iqra kitabaka kafa bi nafsika al-yawma alayka hasiba." That Allah will present the book to the people and they will open it and they will be satisfied with, yeah, this is the affairs that I have done. Even so much so, your hand will testify against you if you lie. There are some people in the day of judgment, they will lie against God and say, look, I didn't do that. And then Allah said, أَوَلَمْ نَخْتِمُ عَلَى أَفْوَاهِهِمْ. On that day, your lips will be sealed. وَتُكَلِّمُنَا أَيْدِيهِمْ. Your hand will speak against you. وَتَشْهَدُ أَرْجُلُهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. God knows what you used to do. So, ultimately, our return is when we die, and death is not actually a finish point. Like race is a finish point. And you exchange what do you call it? In the running, like 10,000 meter, you'll have one partner, then you exchange a stick. What do you call it? Basque, yeah. So it's like a basque on the half point, and the half point will be later on, with the day of judgment. So Islam command us to believe in there is a maker who created everything. What's your take? Do you believe in a God or? Don't know, right?
Yeah. Don't know.
Have you looked into it or? Have you looked into it, no? Have you ever thought drinking a cup of tea, sitting outside, sitting down on the couch?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes,
It's
isn't
not
it?
a strong thought.
Yeah.
It's not something I thought.
Yeah. No, like I said, this existential question comes to everyone's mind in some point of our life. And the fact that this comes in existential question in our mind, it shows that God inbuilt within us a fitra, which is an innate instinct, knowing that there is a maker. It's the family, society, who changed our original way and let us think their way. So if someone, like a baby in Islam, we believe a baby is a Muslim. Why? Because the baby already know there is a maker, higher being. So when the baby grows up, he will have the family influence, the teacher's influence, all the external influence that would lead him to follow the path of their society rather than their own instinct. Islam, we believe that innate instinct of human being is to obey God and worship God. And God posed question about his existence, that the life you are enjoying, where did you come from? Where did the universe come from? Did the universe give birth to itself? Right? All those questions has been posed to our intellectual faculties that we apply day to day. And Allah is asking a question, what is your response? Because if you wanted to deny God, you have to deny your own logic, your own intellect. But the same intellect will be questioned. Now we are in a dilemma, whether should we listen to our intellectual faculty, what he's talking about, or should we go out of our desire and follow the external people? This is where the path actually comes. The disbelief actually not an innate thing. Someone say, oh, I want to do, I'm not a believer in God. You will find they have an external influences of the society, the family, the friends they're hanging out with, right? But the belief is natural. But for me, the question can be arise, okay, you born as a Muslim family, right? Your family led you to become a Muslim, right? I would say yes, correct. But at the same time, when I'm applying my faculties and reasoning, I can engage with them and tell them why I'm a Muslim and what are the reasons I applied, what are the intellectual faculties I have applied. And then again, my intellectual faculty has a limitation as well. Then how do we go about defining the other matters that my intellectual faculties are limited? Then we say our reason indicating that we must have a revelation or some sort of communication from God, because God would not leave us alone without give some guidance. And those guidance were God sent to all the prophets and messenger, because this is how God communicates. He sent human beings as a communicator between him and us. So, and then those human beings prove through miracles. Are you familiar with miracles? Like Moses' miracle. I'm sure you heard them.
Sort of.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it alright if I continue handing these out?
yeah.
It's been a
So
wonderful conversation.
shall I
I've
give
got-
you a
I've got
copy of this one? This
Yeah,
is a
absolutely,
good one. It talks about
Yeah.
what I've discussed,
Yep.
because I believe this is a really important part of our life,
Yeah.
because we're talking about justice here.
Yeah.
Where can we obtain absolute justice? This is the biggest question.
I agree.
Pleasure talking to you. What's
Yeah.
your name?
George.
George. Aziz, nice to meet you, George. Look after yourself. George, interesting discussion. So we talked about absolute justice and how can justice be established. And of course, without the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without the heavenly law, justice cannot be happen. Because humanly man-made laws are always corrupt. It doesn't satisfy our need. It doesn't cater for the whole community and the society. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide George to Islam and guide all the non-Muslims who are looking into Islam. Make dua, jazakumullah khair.